PodAskew podcast is a founding member of the Odd Pods Media Network.
It's Fandom Friday.
We're getting vocal with PodAskew. I am CJ, and with me, as always, is my hetero leve Rico. What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
It's another fucking Fandom Friday, dude. I mean, shit.
Yep.
Holy crap, dude. I got new lights last week, and it makes all my shit look blue. Look at this. It's crazy. This is all black. The hat, the thing on the mic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, what's going on, everybody? We are here, another Fandom Friday on Get Vokl. And if you were listening for the last 14, 15 minutes, we've been playing the dulcet tones of Eddie Van Halen because, well, unfortunately, he passed away this week on Tuesday, I believe, of a long fight with cancer. I mean, he's been fighting cancer since, I want to say, the late 90s off and on. Like, it's been a minute now. And it does suck, Kateri. You're absolutely right. Hey, I want to say hi to everybody in the room before I keep going. Fern, Todd, Jess, Alicio, Jay, Esther, and Kateri, thank you all for fucking hanging out with us tonight. But yeah, getting back to what I was saying, you know, Eddie Van Halen passes away on Tuesday, and is really the third, like, huge name in the last 2 months that we have lost. It's kind of nuts. And it kind of got Rico and I thinking about, you know, other people that have lost, that we've lost over the years, that, you know, we should talk about them. We should celebrate them. But this is meant to be a party, if you will, celebrating people's lives. This is not about being sad and upset. And yes, you're allowed to feel that way. No one's telling you otherwise. Rico and I certainly wouldn't tell you how to feel. But we want to take these opportunities. That's terrible, Esther. That's a horrible thing to feel. I hope that's not true.
Yeah, good luck.
But so I want to take time tonight to celebrate some of the celebrities that we've lost all the way through. Helium? Okay. Sure. But yeah, so starting with Eddie Van Halen, he man set the pathway for guitar solos. That finger tapping sound you hear from him, actually he basically created. Nobody was doing that before Eddie Van Halen, and now, like, everybody does a solo, does finger tapping. But back when Eddie started doing it, it was like revolutionary, you know. And what was interesting about it for me, and a lot of, okay, Todd, I'd heard that he took it from blues players, but we'll put it this way. Let me rephrase. He didn't invent it, but he popularized it. He made it what it is today. That's probably a better way to put it. And
Stole it,
yeah. But he did also, I mean, when you steal things, sometimes it also makes it popular. It just works out that way. I'm not saying it's right, but best guitarist in any genre, Jimi Hendrix. I know guitar players I think are better than Eddie. I think he definitely set a pathway. I think he certainly set some standards, but I think I know better guitar players I could name off the top of my head. But I will say about Eddie, and Rico, you might find this interesting, is when he started really, like, using that finger tapping. Kateri, I'll get to that in a second, but he would actually start facing away from the stage. So he would face towards the back of the stage so no one could see what he was doing. Nobody knew what that technique was that he was doing. He did that for years, and eventually people figured it out. But she didn't release that song. I mean, she might have released a cover of it, but that's not her song. That is
totally... Yeah, Kateri, no. Brittany did not.
No. Esther said that, not Kateri.
No, but I'm telling Terry, no, that's not true.
No. I think she was more like, "Are you serious?" In any event, getting back to Terry's question, guitar players I can name that are better. Todd brought up a good one with Satriani. Jimmy, like you said, I think Jimmy's a better guitar player. I think Brian May's a better guitar player from Queen, honestly.
I was always impressed with Keith Richards.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest Keith Richards fans, but he certainly is another one of those guys. Jimmy Page is way fucking better than him, so I don't know.
What's his name?
Another one.
Randy Rhoads.
Oh God, Randy Rhoads. Yeah, man. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
They didn't expect me to pull that one out, right?
No, especially you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kateri. I could argue Keith Richards. I'm not the biggest Keith Richards fan, but I do understand where the Rolling Stones fit in the pantheon of music. Zakk Wylde's another great one, Todd. Thank you. And Zach had tough shoes to fill because we're talking, getting into the theme of tonight of celebrities and people that we've lost, but he had to fill Randy Rhoads' shoes in Ozzy's band. Like, he's the guy that came in right after Randy passed, and that's a tough gig. That's a tough gig to fill in from. So he did good. Hey, listen, guys, spots are open. Feel free to grab them. I didn't lock them up tonight. I just figured, fuck it, let's bring everybody in. Bill S. Preston and Ted Theodore Logan. Not quite, Todd. Sorry. Let's see what else. But other celebrities that, especially in the music world, I feel one that got really, hey, Todd, check out the new banner. It's backwards, but
isn't that awesome?
It's backwards, but it's pretty badass.
Is it?
Yeah, it might just because your camera, if you can flip your camera somehow. But anyway,
it is. I guess it is backwards. Never mind.
Yeah, no worry. But the one guy that passed away a few years ago that I feel like it's really overlooked, especially because at the time he passed, is Tom Petty. Tom Petty got because he passed right smack dab in the middle of when Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington killed themselves, and also when Prince passed away. So he just got lost in the shuffle, and that's just not fair. Not that the others shouldn't be, thought of or honored, but Tom
Petty's passing was a real heartbreaker.
Oh, really? Really?
Sorry.
I
just fucking left. He's like, nope, fuck it.
Yeah, Todd.
No, I had
to Kateri,
better?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, much better. Yeah. I'm kind of on the fence about Prince.
Yeah.
Prince is a pretty good player.
He's a hell of a guitar player. Absolutely. I won't argue the guitar playing skills, but I was never a huge fan of Prince music. There were songs that I absolutely enjoyed, absolutely loved, but there are other ones. I mean, for the most part, I just wasn't a fan. I'm not sitting here saying he was terrible, but what's that, Todd?
Eric Clapton is another one.
Dude, are we not recording? It says we're not recording.
No, we're recording. We're 8 minutes, 4 seconds in.
It says not recording on mine. That's weird.
No idea. Well, we're recording.
All right.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, no, Kateri, his musician, he was amazing. No, and Jess, we're not just talking musicians. We just started there because of Eddie Van Halen. But if you've got other people you want to talk about, yeah, Rico, it might be your browser, you're coming through and you're here, and trust me, we're recording, so we're good.
All right.
I got the timing down now, so that it picked right up at the end of the music and kicked right in on the odd pods. I'm getting good at this.
Jess, I'm with you. Gene Wilder was one of the ones that really, really hit me.
Yes, I remember. I think I knew you when Gene passed, didn't I, or did I meet you right after?
I don't know, but I think it was around the same time. But because I mean, Gene Wilder was just part of my childhood. He was Willy Wonka, he was Young Frankenstein, he was Blazing Saddles, and that's kind of it. That's all you kind of really need with Gene Wilder. I mean, one of the most gentle guys when he speaks normally, and then when he gets manic, it works insanely well. Like, I still think that the boat scene in Willy Wonka is one of the most terrifying
Oh my God.
parts
Yeah.
in a kids movie alone, but it's just fucked up in any movie.
I saw that in something. Where did I see? I saw that in something where they kind of like paid. You and I talked about it, Rico. I think I even texted you. I'm like, they fucking made it look like the boat thing from Willy Wonka. But what was it? Do you remember? It was a different movie. Ah, fuck! I just wish I could remember.
Probably Marilyn Manson.
What's that?
Well, it was done in it was done in one of Marilyn. I remember that much.
No, it wasn't a video. It was definitely a movie we were watching, and I was like, "Oh my God!" Because it was like it was similar. It was a boat ride, and it had like the music, but it had the music playing, but it wasn't the song. Like it was like a so it was like an homage without actually.
Thor Ragnarok.
That's it. Yes, when he's not in a boat, but he's in that chair, and he's going through like yes, that's it. Thank you.
It plays Pure Imagination. Yeah, that was.
Oh yeah.
It was. But yeah, I'm with you, Rico. Gene Wilder, that was a loss. I know a lot of.
I had to think about this list because like there are a bunch that I forgot, but I actually wrote like a whole list of celebrities and I did some research.
I
No, I earned that $8,000.
Rico makes more money than I do in this show.
It's true. It's really true.
That's true. So, give us.
You need $8,000
for his shirts. His shirt.
I can't reveal that on air because it's pornographic.
Gotcha.
Let's just say I work with my mouth. All right, buddy. As a podcaster, I work with my mouth. We don't mind.
Gotcha.
No.
Moving on.
I mean, obviously, one of the more recent was Chadwick Boseman. I mean, that one, it was just a surprise.
Yes.
I think. I mean, I got Chadwick Boseman. Anthony Bourdain was one that really kind of hit me because I had started getting into his stuff late. Like I was starting to watch his videos on YouTube and whatnot, and then he killed himself, and I was like, motherfucker! I felt like I was late for the game, and I was like, I just started appreciating this son of a bitch. Like, and suicide hits us all really badly, but you know, I mean, Robin Williams is another one on here.
Yeah.
Rob, Chester Bennington.
Chester.
It's
Chester. Yeah,
Chris Cornell.
Because those two were infinitely linked together because Chester and Chris were very close, and it is really speculated that Chester did it because of Chris. You know, like he was that broken up over it and wanted to kind of go out like his friend. You know, and that's not a way to go. But
Fern, good pull, Alan Rickman. That one.
Sure.
Yes.
Mr. Potter, our new celebrity. See, I love that Rickman, but I also love the one in Galaxy Quest because you could just tell he had more. Like he had fun in Potter, but he had more fun in Galaxy Quest. There's a line he delivers to Tim Allen where he's like, "Oh, so it's always about you, is it?" Like just the sassy Alan Rickman, like in Dogma. Dogma. Fucking fantastic.
I also liked him, and a lot of people don't know this, but I also loved him as the Sheriff of Nottingham. Jess, that's a good one too. I forgot about that, but I also loved him as the robot in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, Marv.
Yeah, the depressed robot.
I'm so happy right now. Catch your tail.
But
it was just a British robot droopy dog. It's really what he did.
It's a great movie, Esther. I love that movie. But to Jess's point, going back to the Sheriff of Nottingham, he delivers I think is one of the best lines in cinema. Oh, it's actually a bit of a dialogue back and forth. He goes, "I'll cut his heart out with a spoon," and his cousin's like, "Why a spoon, cousin?" "'Cause it'll hurt. It's dull. It'll hurt more." It's just, and I know my accent's terrible, but that's what he does. And it's just a great line. I fucking love it. So, oh, I guess I'm malevolently insane, Esther, because I love that movie. So,
I appreciate that movie,
Oh
but
yeah.
I have to watch it so much because it's my mother's favorite movie. So like every Mother's Day, every birthday, every Christmas, every Valentine's Day, I have to fucking watch Love Actually so fucking
see, I only
much.
watch it.
Like
I only wanted to watch it once a year. I
Oh,
watch it around
actually.
Christmas, and that's it. I watch that at Christmas.
I don't know if I've ever seen.
It's a comedic Pulp Fiction.
what? That is a first
Oh,
off, Pulp Fiction is already a comedic Pulp Fiction.
Sure,
Pulp Fiction is funny as fuck.
there are funny parts. Sure.
Does Alice Wallace look
No,
like a
what-
bitch?
yeah, right.
Say what again, motherfucker? I dare
Yeah,
you.
no, Todd, what it is, it's like I think it's like 9 stories happening simultaneously, and it cuts from story to stories. It's that kind of thing,
Oh,
and then they all ultimately converge. But at one point, it's jumping all over the place, and you know, Liam Neeson co-stars with his penis, but you know that's what he does. So,
Liam Neeson, the cause of death of his characters of the character that plays his wife was he pulled out his
Yeah,
dick
for real.
and she
Ah,
yeah. Liam Neeson's cock is so big.
how
It-
big
it-
is it? It's never been taken.
Coming from that world, a lesser known name to people outside of I think Kevin's world, Kevin Smith, is Michael Parks. Michael Parks is another one that was a tough one, and it's a shame because like you were saying about Bourdain being late to the party, Rico, I definitely was late to the party on Parks because. I mean, though I saw him first outside of Kevin's world in Kill Bill 2, and as you later informed me, he's in 1, but I didn't realize that was Parks, so I didn't really know him until he plays Esteban in 2.
Esteban.
But then you see him in Red State, and it's like, who's that guy? You know? And
I mean, I'll go even earlier, From Dusk Till Dawn.
but see, I didn't see that.
Oh, that's right. It was the
What's
dad,
that, Tom?
wasn't he? Wasn't he the dad in From Dusk Till
No,
Dawn?
that's Harvey Keitel, which I can understand the confusion, but no, he plays the cop in the liquor store who gets shot by Quentin.
Right. Yes.
Rico, do you know? I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Charlie Murphy, or I can't picture him anyway.
Charlie Murphy is Eddie Murphy's older brother.
Okay.
And he, apart from being, you know, Eddie Murphy's older brother, he did a lot of great bits on the Chappelle Show. He did like stories with Charlie Murphy, and he talks about how Eddie and he got involved with Prince, and of course Prince is played by Dave Chappelle in the reenactments,
Sure.
and then he also does the Rick James bit. So all those, the most famous stories on the Chappelle Show were told by Charlie Murphy. Charlie Murphy was just like if Eddie Murphy was like thuggy, because like as Eddie said, Charlie Murphy would come in, hand Eddie a gun, and be like, "Hide this!" Like just that's how he did.
Oh man, I'm looking at a picture of him now. I don't recognize him, but you can definitely tell they're brothers. There's no doubt there.
Oh, for sure.
I think my favorite Charlie Murphy beyond the Chappelle Show is Norbit.
I didn't see that.
Norbit.
I saw Norbit once. That was plenty.
It's one of the movies I have in my collection, and it's probably one of my favorite Eddie Murphy movies.
You know, this is so weird that we're talking about this. I just watched Vampire.
I was going to bring it up, Rico, but we'll go into the details.
I'm not going to go into details, but I just watched Vampire in Brooklyn for the first time. Never saw it. It was always kind of like, why the fuck would I watch this? This looks stupid. The title looks hokey. It's fucking funny as shit. And Eddie plays the vampire role straight. Like, he tries to be like a villain, but he looks kind of ridiculous. And it's no fault of his own. any actor. It could be fucking Anthony Hopkins. It could be Sidney Poitier. It could be Johnny Depp. It could be anybody. You know, a fucking Shakespeare thespian. When they do the vampire role and they're like doing that shit, they look ridiculous. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And Eddie Murphy just tries to do the whole like he tries to open his eyes and squint and look evil and conniving, and it's just like, oh, Eddie, oh, buddy, no.
Well, what's
Yeah.
kind of like
That movie was supposed to be a straight scary movie. It wasn't intended to be a comedy.
well, you know, and-
Ironically enough, Wes Craven made it funnier. He actually said we got to amp up the funny.
you know, Kateri, we're not going to get deep into it tonight, but Rico was actually telling me last night that Brooklyn or Vampire in Brooklyn was basically coming to America with vampires. Isn't that how you described it?
It really
Yeah.
is. Yeah. It's exactly the same plot. If you really watch it, it's
I'll
foreigner
have to rewatch.
comes to America, gets a is trying to blah blah blah, get a woman and blah blah blah, and he lives in the slums and he fucking blah blah blah. It's virtually the same movie.
Um,
I'll have to rewatch it.
I want to take go back a little further. And you know, you've got guys like Farley, you know, and
He's on my list.
yeah, you
I remember when he
so
died.
do I. I mean, you know, you just remember days like that, and you're like, oh. But you know, the thing with Farley, when it's not, none of this is meant as disrespect, but you kind of saw it coming. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't doing well. You could tell when he was in public he wasn't doing well, and it you hoped it wasn't going to happen, but you weren't. At least, and Todd, you and I are closer in age. Yeah, he totally mirrored Belushi, Kateri, no doubt about it. But I wasn't terribly stunned when I heard it. Like, I was stunned because it sucked, but I wasn't surprised that it occurred.
Yeah.
Because you saw him.
Yeah.
Fern,
What?
Fern, we're not only exclusively talking actors. Like, we're talking about
And-
celebrities ultimately. But
Yeah.
yeah, Amy Winehouse qualifies.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't very well versed on Amy Winehouse prior to her passing, so I can't speak much about her. But yeah, for sure.
I know. No.
Oh God. See, it was jokes like that. I mean, I'm not giving you shit, but like, I was more pissed off about how the media was like making her a tabloid whore, and like, oh my God, Amy Winehouse is on meth, and oh my God, look at how thin she is. Oh my God, she must be a bulimic, and then, oh my God, she died. It's so sad. It's like, motherfuckers, you helped contribute to her death,
Right.
and
Right.
it was so fucking like, yeah, I was really,
And
I thought it was absolutely hypocritical.
and not to pick on the Brits because they make up about 50% of our audience right now, but like the paparazzi chasing after Princess Diana way back in the day. I mean, same kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like, if they hadn't been doing that, who knows? She might still be here today. But that's a whole different discussion, I think. Fern, I think you were here in the beginning. So it started this with Eddie Van Halen. So yeah, there's musicians for sure. I was actually just thinking about when Kurt Cobain, when they finally announced they found his body, back in 91, I think it was 91, 92.
Yeah. I think it was like 92. It was after I graduated high school.
Yeah, okay. I knew it was right after In Utero came out. So it might have been 93. Actually, it might have been 93, 94, Todd, because I was going in from 8th grade to 9th grade. So it was right in that thing. So, but that was crazy too,
There are actors and actresses that I missed their death. Like, I was like River Phoenix was one where, because he died in 93, so I would have been 2. But once I was aware of him, I was like, oh fuck. Like, what a lost talent. Like, it was, I still, one of my favorite parts of the Indiana Jones franchise is that opening scene of Last Crusade. And I watch it and I'm like, fuck, it's so sad.
Yeah. I sorry, I thought we had like an intruder. Sorry. Everything's fine now. It's just turned out to be an animal of some sort. But I lost my train of thought. Oh, River Phoenix. You were talking about River Phoenix. I'm not going to give away as to what it relates to, but we're going to be talking about a movie this week on our recording that he was supposed to be in and ultimately couldn't do it because he died before he could have started filming. So it'll be curious to see how that plays out, or it'll be curious to talk to you about that, Rico, when we get there. But let me think. I'm trying to.
I got another one.
Please, you got your list there, so let's hit it.
I got my list. Bill Paxton.
Oh, Paxton, yeah.
Yes.
Which I kind of
game over, man. Game over.
And I kind of double dipped with that tonight. Now, if you think about it, because the music I was playing leading in, one of the songs I played was Humans Being, which is from Twister, which might be one of his best well-known stand up front, like starring roles, not movies he's been in, but one of his best known starring roles.
If memory serves, he has the rare distinction, or he had the rare distinction. Well, he still has the rare distinction of being killed by an alien, a predator, and a Terminator.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
All three?
All three. Aliens, Predator 2, and then he was in T1. He's the guy who plays the dude in leather with the mohawk. He's like, "Fuck you, asshole."
Yeah. I've seen that clip went around quite a bit when he passed away. I remember people are dropping like flies out of the chat room. No pun intended, but Jesus.
Yeah. What the hell, guys? What happened?
Well, apparently we're depressing. So
not a whole lot of Bill Paxton fans.
Yeah, I guess not. So, well, Kateri, we love that you're here, and we know Jay's here, and Fern, thank you for hanging out still. So, all of you guys.
Yeah, don't forget me. I'm here too.
God, you're a staple, my friend. You're a staple.
Another movie he's in that is probably one of my favorites from the 80s is Weird Science. He's the older brother.
Yes, Chet. Yeah.
See, I'm having a hard time finishing Big Love, and Jay, I know you're going to be like, "Oh, you need to finish it." It's starting to get really sad because, it's not going to go well for his character. I just have that feeling, and it's sort of like how there's certain movies with Robin Williams you just don't want to watch anymore. I just don't I don't want to see art imitating life. You know what I'm saying? So, right? I'll get to it. I'll get through it because I put all this time watching Big Love, but I got big love for Bill Paxton, so I'm kind of inching through it. But another one on the same wavelength is
what's going on, buddy? I have to reset real quick because we're coming up on the bottom of the hour. Tonight we are, in honor of Eddie Van Halen passing this week, we are celebrating celebrities that have passed on over the years that sometimes don't get love, sometimes who've gotten a lot of love, and it's musicians, it's actors, actresses. We're talking about it all. So if you have someone who can contribute, please do.
Jay pulls out her Mortal Kombat. Finish it.
Yeah. I don't know what it was in reference to. I think I missed that, but that's okay.
Talking about the show Big Love.
That's what finishing the show. Yeah.
One that really hit me hard, to the point where I was on the verge of crying, and I found out when I was working at the movie theater and news broke. James Gandolfini. That one fucked me up.
You're a big Gandolfini fan. You've been talking to me about him since we met. So
I mean, and it's not even just The Sopranos, although he was superb in The Sopranos. He's just an impressive character actor, and every time I see him pop up in a movie and he has one line, I'm just like, this dude was fucking brilliant. One of his last movie that he completed, but he never got to see, was a romantic comedy that he did with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. It's called Enough Said. And the premise is Julia Louis-Dreyfus meets a woman played by Catherine Keener and James Gandolfini at the same party, but separately. And then she flirts with Gandolfini and they start developing a relationship. At the same time, she becomes friends with Catherine Keener. And then she finds out through conversation with both of them that as they complain about their exes, they're actually talking about each other. So she's being friends with somebody, and like sort of digging up the worst, because all exes talk about the worst of their exes about her current boyfriend, and that fucks with her relationship. So like little things that annoyed Catherine Keener are now starting to annoy Julia Louis-Dreyfus. It's really, you don't see Gandolfini be the, a romantic comedy schlub, but he does it so well.
I want to jump in on what Fern was saying. Brittany Murphy. Yeah, I hadn't heard about what you're saying with the spores and all. I thought I'd heard drugs, but if I'm wrong about that, then that's my apologies. But
I don't remember how she died. I thought it was attributed to a prescription medication overdose, and it was accidental.
That's what I thought I'd heard too. Yeah. But I
know her dad was in the mafia. I know that.
Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm going to take down whoever killed my daughter." We're like,
speaking of accidental overdoses, you got Heath Ledger.
Oh, you beat me, motherfucker. I was going to go there, but yeah.
That was listed as natural and deferred because drugs wouldn't have been enough to kill her. Huh. That's interesting, Fern. I was not aware of that information, so that's new to me. But so I don't have a whole lot that I can comment on. But
that may have been one of the first ones that I was aware of, because she died in 2003-ish, I want to say, and I just saw 8 Mile. Like, I missed the Clueless train, but I saw 8 Mile, and I was like, when you're 10 years old and you watch her in 8 Mile, you're like, ooh, shit.
2009, Jeez. Rico.
She died in 2009?
2009, 77 and 2009. Yep. I just did the same.
Wow.
Thanks.
Wow. It was way later than I thought. It felt like it was way earlier.
Yeah. No, it definitely did. I mean, Clueless was 95 and 8 Mile was 02. So, okay. She was in Just Married. She was in a couple movies after 8 Mile from the look of it.
Uptown Girls, I remember that one.
Yeah, that was the same year as Just Married, according to this. So,
and Kurt Cobain was 94.
Was it 94? Yeah, it's okay. That makes more sense to me than 91. Yeah, because 91 is when Nevermind came out. So it would have had to have been a couple years after that. Sure. That makes sense. I don't know. Rico, pull me another name because I'm.
All right. Well, okay. This one was a double header, and it really fucked me up. I know it's gonna fuck you all up. Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher.
Oh yeah, what, like 2 days apart from each other?
A single day.
Yeah.
Well,
because ironically, very similarly, Rico, and these aren't famous people. My grandmother died, and then 4 days later, her mother died. Back 2 years ago now. Yeah.
Yeah. There's just it's usually the case where it'll be a grandparent, and then the other one just doesn't want to live. And it's not like an act of suicide. It's almost quite literally they die of a broken heart.
Well, it's like when you hear about couples, like a husband will die, and a few days later or a few months later, the wife will die, or vice versa. That it's the same kind of thing. She just sped up the process.
I mean, the last thing Debbie to live. Yeah, I mean, the last thing Debbie said apparently to her son, to her son was, I miss Carrie. I'm going to go be with Carrie. And the son's like, "What, Mom? What are you talking about?" And then she just fucking laid down and died, willed herself to die. It's so fucked up.
Guys, that's weird. Yeah.
I got one that you'll appreciate, CJ. I actually thought of you for this one. Paul Walker.
Yeah. I think, especially the irony in his passing. Do you know what I mean? There was some weird irony.
I mean, it's too easy and shallow for me to make that. Oh, he drove too fast, too furious kind of jokes.
Oh yeah, I'm not making a joke. I'm talking about the real irony. And honestly, he was. If you know the story, he was actually a passenger. He wasn't the one driving. It was his friend that was driving. Who apparently, if I understood correctly, was one of the drivers from the movie, like the stunt drivers. He knew what he was doing, but I guess he just, shit happens, unfortunately.
I don't want to say that I think there was alcohol involved, but that's what I remember.
I don't remember.
I also know. Yes, that. So maybe that's who I'm thinking of because I thought it was like near the same area. I don't know for sure, but I heard like that turn in particular is really kind of dangerous, and I think
I didn't hear what Todd said. What did
Ryan Dunn from Jackass died in a car crash.
yeah,
Very similar to Paul Walker.
yeah. Obviously Robin Williams. We've talked. I mean, I think every Get Vokl we brought up Robin Williams. Like
I think
he's just always
Yeah.
as he should be. But another one similar to Gandolfini, tremendous character actor who always wowed me, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so a triple dip before the lead up because he's also in Twister. So there you go with Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
God.
And meanwhile, Helen Hunt just fucking killed her career.
No.
So.
Oh, come on, dude! Really?
What? I mean, when was the last time you saw a really good Helen Hunt movie?
I don't think I've seen a really good Helen.
90s.
Yeah.
As good as it gets, right? Like 97.
Kateri, it wasn't
Nicholson. Yeah.
No, Kateri, it wasn't suicide. He OD'd on I believe it was heroin.
It was heroin.
So,
which, for the record, there's if you want like that, like foul taste in your mouth as you watch like a Philip Seymour Hoffman movie where you're like, oh fuck, it's so fucked up and his acting's so good and this movie's great. You all should check out the movie Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. But it definitely hits you in the feels knowing how in real life Philip Seymour Hoffman did die of heroin because his character does do a lot of drugs throughout the film. And he's not exactly a nice guy in the movie anyway, so he's kind of reprehensible. He's kind of abhorrent, but you feel for it even more. But Before the Devil Knows You're Dead.
I want to back up and re-stress the point. The part of what we're talking about here is we were trying to celebrate these people. And we've been talking a lot about the sad part. So sticking in that vibe, I want to stay with Philip Seymour Hoffman for a minute and tell you that, like, as great as he was in a lot of things, and I am not saying that this is his best performance, but one of his most memorable moments for me is from Mission Impossible 3. When he
you're so right.
When after they've already got him out of the Vatican and they're on the plane and he's talking to Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt for the first time, and he's like, you got a girlfriend, a wife?
Yeah. You have a girlfriend? I'm going to hurt her real bad.
I'm going to find her.
I'm going to find her and I'm going to hurt her. You know who does a really good Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Who's that?
OC. Octopus Caveman does a
fucking on the recording the one time, didn't he? Didn't he do it?
He nails it. He's even said like, if I could ever play a biopic, I'll play Phil Seymour, and he nails it. Yeah. I'm gonna hurt her really bad.
But that line was creepy as fuck. But to the same side, loved him in Twister. That crazy manic guy with the long hair, just up for adventure. He was so much fun to watch there. I loved him playing Lester Bangs in Almost Famous. That was a great role,
He was always the good supporter. He was always he always outshone the star of the film, but he also helped them. Like Boogie Nights. Like no one watches Boogie Nights for Marky Mark.
I don't know about that.
No, I watched see his prosthetic.
I mean, Rico, you say that people don't go because he's not the head guy, but like I heard Capote was amazing. Now I've never seen it, so I can't speak to it.
But that's my point is that later, once he was established as, this dude could actually be a leading man, then but he consistently he was always a supporting character. I mean, even in the fucking Hunger Game movies.
Sure. Yeah. And in the same regard, Rico, you need to go watch, and I've been telling you to watch this a bunch of times now, but Pirate Radio, because he's in that, and he's Pirate Radio to me doesn't have a star. It's got a whole bunch of supporters, but they play so well together that it doesn't feel like a bunch of supporters. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and the fact that you have a character named Twat, I mean, is perfect. That's just right there. So,
what did you say? I can't hear you.
Exactly.
I have an ear function.
So, But yeah, who did?
So piggybacking off of Heath Ledger.
Well, I don't know if you saw.
What?
She also kicked out Corey Haim. She went in the way back.
Oh yeah.
No, Corey Haim only died just like 3 or 4 years ago.
I know, but I'm talking about height of his popularity. I guess.
Oh, right, yeah. I also posted a link in the chat that has a list of like recent deaths.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Thank you. Yeah, click on that if you want.
Corey Haim. I mean, I was never like obsessed with the two Coreys. I mean, I kind of bought into their reality show just to kind of be curious about it, and then I found out it was scripted. And I was like, oh, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was just like,
We all are.
yeah, but they kept insisting, oh, it's not scripted, man. It's totally like this is what's happening. It's real. You know, we have a license to live, and blah, and then I was, yeah.
As I understand it, it's not scripted in that they have lines to read. They recorded everything, and then the editor goes in and makes a story out of all the shit they've recorded. That's what makes it.
Some of those are scripted. Maybe not that one, but some are. I actually have a question for our British friends tonight. Rico and I consider this a big name, but we're wondering how much bigger it was over there with Terry Jones this year from Monty Python, because that definitely. Yeah, that hit us a little bit. So I'm wondering if that had that much more impact over there. But so yeah, jump in with that if you can. I'm looking over the list. Obviously, you got you got Kobe.
Kobe, yeah. Kobe didn't hit me as much. I was never a sports fan, but I was sad. I was more sad for his daughter. Let me put it that way. Like, I think it's still sad, but I was like,
yeah.
Looking at this name.
To piggyback off of, I mean, I was gonna say it was the Heath Ledger, but yeah, Steve Irwin, and you guys brought it up in the chat. Steve Irwin really. That was the first time I think it was pre-Robin worldwide. Like, we're all just brokenhearted. Like,
yeah,
you know, some people were more affected than others with Michael Jackson or Prince or Kobe or David Bowie or someone like that. But we were all just sad about Irwin. Like, we were just like, fuck, the happiest guy on the planet.
Speaking,
like, he just looks so happy doing his shit. Sorry.
No, it's all right. But speaking of like music, like icons that passed away recently, you got Little Richard. Little Richard passed away this year. I'd almost forgotten about that.
Really? God, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. May 9th. But see, that's the thing. It was in the height of all the COVID shit, and I think it kind of got like,
you're right,
undercut by all that. But yeah, Little Richard, you don't have a lot of music. Like, you're talking about Prince, you don't get Prince without Little Richard. I'm sorry.
You just get a lot of things without Little Richard. Little Richard was literally like the beginning of rock and roll.
Yeah,
Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury was inspired by Little Richard.
Without question. Yeah, I'd maybe even say I was going to say Liberace, but I think they were about the same time.
It's hard to see who influenced either in that scenario.
That's what I was debating, was like who influences who there.
Liberace influenced Liberace.
Yeah.
Little Rachi, combine the two, Little Rachi.
Little Rachi.
That sounds like a sexually transmitted disease. Is really what that sounds like.
It kind of sounds like a rapper, like who would be like, I'm Little Rachi.
Another person that died this last year, or in December of last year, was Rene Aberat. How do you say the last name? Aberadronis? The guy who played Odo on Deep Space Nine.
Oh shit! I did forget about that. Yeah, he played the shapeshifter from Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. But for Todd, the 206 geek, that's going to make sense to sit in. I mean, let's be real here. I know who he is, Todd. Deep Space DS9, while I know is most people's favorites, is actually not one of the Star Treks I enjoy the most. So I know who the character is, but I don't know much about it. So
yeah,
what was his name on Deep Space Nine?
Odo, yeah.
Odo, yeah.
He did a lot of voiceover stuff too.
I'm looking him up as we speak, but
because I thought you said Otho, and that reminded me of the guy who played Otho the heavyset dude in Beetlejuice, the designer who was
Right,
like
right, yeah.
doing this.
Yes.
He died
Did
a couple years ago. Mm-hmm.
I actually like him better.
What's his name? Hold on. What's his name? Glenn Shaddix? Shaddy? I never knew how to pronounce his last name because I didn't know if it was like French or if it was just Shaddix.
I don't know. The thing I liked about that guy though was not his role in Beetlejuice. I fucking loved him in Demolition Man.
Right?
He was the chancellor's like lackey, I guess. I don't know how to describe him, but like he was such a wuss but he played that character so well, you know? So
Right.
Rico, what you got, bud?
Here too.
Well, let me acknowledge this.
He died.
People are asking how you feel, Steph. How are you feeling? She feels like she has a cold, but her stomach is not bad. Okay, this one hurt, and I remember the timing of it. I remember my mom crying and telling me about it. Phil Hartman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I do remember that.
That one. I think that was the first time I was aware, like, of a parent being upset of a celebrity death, and my mom could cry like that, but like she was just so brokenhearted. She was like, "It's so fucking sad," and I also I didn't have any to begin with, but I lost all respect for Andy Dick. Andy Dick was the one who supplied Phil Hartman's wife the drugs, and she got high and crazier and then shot him and then herself. And I have very little respect for John Lovitz. I have more so for this story. I'll tell you. John Lovitz approached Andy Dick at like a restaurant or a club or something, and like started giving him shit for the Phil Hartman scenario. And Andy Dick said, "I placed the Phil Hartman curse on you." And Phil Hartman grabbed him by the throat and slammed him against the wall. I mean, not for fucking nothing. Like, John Lovitz is kind of a dick in his own way. Respect grew for John Lovitz. Acting, thank y'all.
He's still a dickhead, but I agree.
Yeah. He's not an Andy dickhead, but he's a dickhead.
I don't know if we have any wrestling fans in the house, but to that same story about Hartman, unfortunately, you got Chris Benoit for one. He was a wrestler. No, like I'm not saying he deserves empathy, Todd, but it's a very similar kind of thing. Like he was on steroids and had a mental breakdown. Yeah, hi Mark, thank you. I agree, but but just so people know the story, he because of the steroids went on a roid rage, killed his entire family, and then killed himself. So, yeah, it's not so good there. But on a happier note, not happier is the best way to put it, but on a not so morbid note, you have what happened to I would argue it wasn't the steroids, but the brain damage. I think they said it was a combination, actually, Mark. But you're probably not wrong. You would know better than I would, and I mean that sincerely. But Owen Hart, I don't know if you know the story of Owen Hart. Do you know who Bret the Hitman Hart is? Do you know who that is? Okay.
Yes.
Owen Hart was the brother of Bret, and there was the Hart family is like a long chain of like it's like a family of wrestlers, but Owen Hart had started doing a character. I forget. You all right there, Todd?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just on air.
That's all right. I cannot remember the name of the character, but the character, when he would enter the ring, would enter from being hung down from the rafters of the arena, and they were lowering him down for a pay-per-view, Rico, of all things. So like a major event, and the harness snapped. And he fell to his death. He fell 30 feet and hit his head on the turnbuckle and just never came up.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's really awful. And unfortunately, because Vince is a money hungry douchebag, and it was in an arena full of people. They got Owen out of there and continued the pay per view like it never happened. Like they did the.
Oh, that's fucked up.
So I actually was.
Brett also left the WWE because of that too.
Yeah, well, one of the reasons that and the Montreal screw job, which is a whole different discussion, but we don't want to bore everyone with wrestling stories. But yeah, I was watching that pay per view. The thing was that the way they handled it on TV, you never knew what happened. You didn't know. You only knew if it happened You only knew what happened if you were in the arena. So watching at home, you had no clue, which is one I understand why they ran with it the rest of the way through, because the people at home watching it that paid $40 a pop for it had no clue what was happening. So
my question is, were people like cheering and stuff like normal during the wrestling event, or were they all like completely silent because they just watched someone fall to their death?
I was young, Todd, so I don't remember a lot of it, but I believe they were still cheering through. I also don't think they realized he died. I don't know that they announced that he had actually passed away from the fall until after the fact.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So they just thought it was part of the show.
No.
Great.
And they knew he got hurt, but I don't think they knew he was dead. Is what I'm saying. So yeah. And that doesn't mean that it should be cheering, but if you don't know somebody's passed on and you think they're gonna maybe pull through or whatever, you just go on with your night or whatever. So I don't know. Thank you so much, Kateri. Jay is awesome, and thank you for hanging out with us. Fern, thank you for hanging out, because I know it's if my math is right, we're a little before 2 where you're at. So thank you. We lost all the other Brits for the night.
It's insomnia with Fern.
Yeah, I thought that was Jolene.
Sleep.
Yeah, I thought that was Jolene. It was insomnia, but maybe it's both. I don't know. Anyway,
well, I'll throw another name at you just to please the Brits. David Bowie.
Yeah, Bowie.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like I'm being disrespectful, but like, he like died and then released his final album, and like he was letting people know about it, and like he knew that was going to make a bunch of money for his estate, for his family, and yada yada yada. And I gotta respect that. I never was really a big David Bowie fan, but I admired him. If that makes sense.
Sure.
Like, I didn't think he was particularly a good singer. I always kind of felt like his singing was just not. It's not terrible. It's just not phenomenal. But his artistry was unparalleled
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you, Rico. I agree with you. It wasn't the greatest singer in the world. It wasn't my favorite musician in the world, but his showmanship and his artistry and that whole thing, and then coming up with the character of Ziggy Stardust. I mean, that's a thing. You don't just
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's where I'm going to differ from you guys, because I thought he was a phenomenal singer. I liked his music. I love the way
yeah. But I mean, if we're going to get into the discussion of singers, I'll take Freddie Mercury over David Bowie any day of the week and twice on Sunday. I mean,
and that's my point, is that he sounds less amazing when he's with Freddie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they're just two different styles. Is all. I mean, if you listen to the original version of Under Pressure, it has both of them singing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're two different. The way they sing is different.
Sure.
You can't compare the two.
No, I mean, look, Bowie has songs I love. Golden Years is maybe one of my favorite songs, period. I love that song. It's a great song.
Heroes is a great goddamn song.
Yeah. But I mean, as a whole, I'm not just the biggest Bowie fan. Like, I can name singers I think are better. That's all I was getting at, So.
And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Like I said, I admired the fact that he reinvented himself every other year. Like, that's because you see artists do the same shit every fucking year. Like, and then sometimes when they try and reinvent themselves, it doesn't work out. Unfortunately, it happens a lot more with women. Whenever a woman singer tries to reinvent herself, the media is more critical of them.
I heard about this, but I want to read what Fern said, because I knew about this. But all I can think about when I think of David Bowie's death is that clip from UK Big Brother. Did you ever see it over there? he died while his ex-wife was in Big Brother, and she told everyone David had died. And because it was another person named Big Brother called David at the time, they all thought she meant that guy, and it caused a massive stir. So if you haven't seen it, it's British TV Gold. I also heard they pulled her out of the show so she could attend his funeral. I'd heard that. I don't know if that's true, Fern. You might be able to confirm that for me, but I'd heard that as well. But
David Bowie gave me a clear visual of what happens if you do too much cocaine. No. I mean, I'm like, when I was experimenting with coke, I would remember being late one night looking up just cocaine. It's so stupid. I was just like, I'm on it. Let me see the effects of it online. And then there was this straight up interview of David Bowie being interviewed, just says David Bowie on cocaine, and you watch it and you're like, oh yeah, I'm putting this shit away. This is too much, because he was just fidgeting, and it's not the stereotypical when we think of cocaine, sometimes we think of Belushi, Chris Farley, even Robin Williams to an extent. But I was watching the type of coke head that I was, because I get really just kind of reserved and really focused, and I was watching Bowie do it, so I could never relate to Belushi or Robin Williams. I talk fast, normal, and sober, but then I saw Bowie and I was like, oh, so this affects people differently. And I actually told my friend, I'm like, I don't want to party anymore. He's like, why? I'm like, because David Bowie. He's like, what the fuck? What? That's a weird reason, but okay, fine. So.
yeah.
Well, it can be sobering if you're seeing something that you don't want to become.
Mm-hmm.
If you're using the same thing that person's on, and you see them literally at rock bottom, and you're like, oh fuck, I don't want to end up there. So,
and this was also the height of his success, where I was like, I was just broke, and it was just like a way. Look, I'm not here to talk about my cocaine habit that I had years ago, but I definitely indulged. I definitely experimented more than I should have, and it got to the point where I was like, it was never hey, I can't pay rent because I snorted it. It was always like, okay, I could spend this $40 on shit that I could probably use, or I could party for 6 hours. That's the worst it got. It was like, but.
Well, that's a good turn.
Rico was a rebel back in the day.
Yeah,
I was.
Yeah.
No, I'm a rebel now because I lived through it and I acknowledged it, and I'm very honest about it. And coke was sort of the hardest shit I ever did. I mean,
if you still young, don't let the motherfucker fool you. He's still young.
Yeah, I'm a baby.
You're like what, in your early 30s at this point?
No,
29.
I'm not even 30.
Oh shit! So you're still in your 20s, and you're like a has-been cokehead. Gotcha.
Well, I was never a cokehead. I definitely, let's just say, I like the smell of it a little too much.
Rico getting her name off.
Let me smell this.
I mean, I want to go back to Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger really, because the timing was crazy.
Yeah.
Because he died, and then we all saw Dark Knight. Like, that was what happened. And we're all watching this magnificent, you want to know how I got these scars? Like, that kind of fucking Hannibal Lecter, heroin addict of a Joker. And it was the complete opposite of Nicholson and Cesar Romero and Mark Hamill. It was something we had never seen. It was a truly original, in a positive way, read that, Jared Leto, motherfucker, interpretation of the Joker. And we're just so broken. I mean, apart from the opening scene of the bank robbery, the real scene that just, we were all like, oh, fuck, I am in, was, how about a magic trick?
No, I mean, yeah, that was good, but where they got me was that interrogation room when it's him and Bale.
Later,
yeah, but I'm saying that was the.
Oh, you weren't sold by the magic trick, man. I
I think I was misinterpreting what you were trying to say. Yeah, that sold me. But like the moment that I was like, all right, there's never going to be better was that interrogation room. That did it for me. Fern, yes, Jay's got it right. It was an overdose of prescription medications and champagne. Actually, he was drinking champagne with it.
He was getting ready for a massage, and he actually he had trouble with the Joker role. The Joker kind of fucked him up. Like he went real method as the Joker. So he like locked himself in a hotel room for a month. He wrote a diary as the Joker and went real deep in the psychological, the headspace of all the people to have as your way of thinking. The Joker is one of the least people you would want to do. And he went in it and he gave us an amazing performance, but then he started he would also suppress himself from sleeping. He wanted to induce this kind of half narcoleptic, like he's just awake through anarchy kind of way of doing it. Like and ultimately, he was prescribed the medication to help get back to normal schedule of sleeping, and then he got he fucked up.
Wasn't he also like dating one of the Olsen twins at the time too?
No, they were friends. He was staying at Ashley's apartment or something. That's where he was going to get the massage, because I think he and Michelle Williams were not doing well, and yeah, so.
Well, and Fern, the irony there, and I'm not saying I wish this person dead, but Jared Leto did a very similar, like, let's get method about it, and it didn't come out nearly as well by any means. But
I mean, Joaquin got kind of method in the same way as Heath Ledger, and I mean to the point where it's like you're watching Todd Phillips' Joker with Joaquin, and you just feel bad for the guy. You're like, eat a sandwich, dude. It's just fucking eat something. Eat, God damn it.
Take your meds and eat your food, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Ashley. It was Mary Kate. You're right, Kateri. Go ahead, Todd.
I posted a link in the chat room of a video clip that inspired his version of the.
Oh, before I even watch it, is it the
Tom Waits?
Tom Waits, thank you. It was the Tom Waits video.
Yeah,
I've seen.
It's not the whole video. It's like 3 minutes of it, but the whole one is like 9 minutes long. You can find that one on YouTube as well.
I agree with you though. I watched that shit and I was like, oh, that's totally Heath. It's totally the Joker's like, where's my ashtray? I have a cigarette. It's just him looking kind of squirrely. And this is when like Tom Waits had a voice that didn't sound like it was gravel rubbed with fucking alcohol and other rocky substance. Like he just kind of looked like it sounded like the Joker. Like it was. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Now here.
It doesn't sound like you've been decoding a sandpaper dildo. Yeah.
Now it's here. So I want to say hi, Mal. Just give you a quick reset because we are actually at the top of the second hour. We are discussing celebrities that have passed away, but we're doing our best, or I should say, to celebrate their career, celebrate the things that made them what we loved about them, not be sad and depressing and all that, although we've had some people say that and leave. So, hey, I guess it happens. But yeah, they like your Joker. They like your Joker, Rico. I think, listen, as good as your Heath Ledger is, your Hamill is infinitely better.
Oh, thank you so much.
So,
I mean, because it doesn't sound like me, whereas I would probably argue my Heath Ledger sounds like me doing Heath Ledger.
You know what? But all you need to do with your Heath is get it just a little bit higher. Like if you could get the pitch a little bit higher, I think you'd be right there because you've got the cadence.
You want to know how I got these scars? Is that better?
No, you dropped the scars, but the rest of it was right on. So like you got to go down on scars. But yeah.
You want to know how I got these scars?
Yeah, bingo.
My father was a drinker and a fiend.
I have seen the Uber Eats ad that with him and Patrick Stewart. It's fucking funny as hell. You're right. Especially Yeah, thank
I
you,
am
Todd.
my father. What?
It's like, wait, what? So,
Tomatoes, tomato.
yeah. What you got there, Rico, on your
I mean, we kind of burned through my list, but I can go back to Debbie and Carrie. Like Carrie, that just was sad, man. I mean, Debbie obviously was sad because she lost her daughter, but Carrie was, we all lost our princess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last one that really made me
Mhm.
cry. Was that when Carrie Fisher was announced to have passed away? That ruined my week. That didn't just ruin my day. That
I'm with
ruined
you.
my week. So
Rico,
Yeah.
just to talk about, because I mentioned this briefly earlier, but it's not a bad choice, Kateri. But remember I mentioned. So, well, we're not hiding our movies for this month as much. So we're doing vampire movies this upcoming week on PodAskew. We're doing all vampire movies except the Underworld series because that's going to get its own treatment later. But during our preparation for it, one of the movies I watched was Interview with a Vampire, and what I'd forgotten, Rico, or didn't know was at the end of the credits, because now thanks to Marvel, I watch the credits on all these fucking things. The last thing that pops up on screen is In Memory of River Phoenix, and he's not in the fucking movie. And the reason is to what I was saying to you earlier is he was supposed to play the Christian Slater role and died before they could start principal filming. So,
And Christian actually donated his
Yes.
entire salary to all of River's favorite
charities.
organizations and charities. Yeah.
$250,000 salary. Every penny of it went to River Phoenix. This is different.
And the same thing with Heath Ledger. When Heath Ledger died, he was in the middle of filming The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, and they had to they got Colin Farrell, Johnny Depp, and Jude Law to fill in different representations of the same character,
Okay.
and they all took their paychecks and gave it to his daughter, to Heath's
That's
daughter,
awesome.
Matilda.
That's awesome. Yeah.
nice.
Not the same as going to a charity, but I don't think River had any kids when he passed, did he? I don't think he, yeah.
But at least two of his siblings have had kids and named them after River, or a moderation. Like I think Casey Affleck is married to one of the Phoenixes, and they had a kid named Rio, which is obviously Spanish for River.
Correct,
So.
right. And I think same thing with Robin Williams. I think his son Zach named one of his sons Robin, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you saying nope to? What did we get wrong?
Yeah, what yeah.
What did I do?
What do we do?
I quit. No kids. Oh, that he had no kids. Yeah. Okay.
Got it. But Carrie fucked me up, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's arguably every geek's first crush.
You know what else? You know else? Oh my god! I can't believe I almost forgot to say this because we have to talk about it today since we're talking about this topic today because it would be his birthday. John Lennon. Today would have been his birthday.
Right.
So.
There's not so much you could do if you just imagine.
Oh really?
Not a very good John Lennon. Sorry.
Not a really good joke.
Sure was.
It wasn't terrible.
Sure was a good joke.
Yeah, well, I thought it was funny.
Thank you.
The least,
Yeah, I mean, it's a sad. Look, I didn't make a joke about his death, CJ.
I have to say my favorite Beatle is actually the other one that's passed away as well. I like George Harrison way better than John Lennon personally. I
was always a fan of Paul. I just thought he was just the nice one. Like, I'm Paul. How are you?
Yeah, I mean,
My favorite Beatles is still alive.
what's that, Todd?
It says my favorite Beatles are both still alive.
Oh, Paul and Ringo.
Was my accent not like good at all? Like that's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, no,
You're
it's pretty bad, and mine's terrible too. I'm not going to pretend I do a good one. Mine's horrific. Yeah, I'm with you, Kateri. I'm not saying John and Paul aren't great because they have one of the greatest songbooks ever created. But as far as I'm concerned, George Harrison, for me, I mean, it's just crazy. They're all Scouse from Liverpool. It might as well be its own language. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, John was not a nice man. I mean, he kind of
No, he wasn't.
he kind of calmed down before he died, but like he beat the fuck out of his first wife, and it's just too ironic, that he was like love and peace, and that's an awful John Lennon, but he just beat the shit out of his first wife, and he ignored his first son. Which one? Julian.
Julian. Yeah,
Julian.
Yeah.
I
agree with you, Vern. That song has a real different feel to it if you know the history of him.
I don't really have any hate for Yoko like a lot of people do, but
she's a little.
I mean, she's eccentric for sure, but like
I don't hate her, but I don't want her singing ever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, her.
Jesus.
Yeah, Kateri, he fucked up his first, and he admitted it. It wasn't like he's like, no, I never. My John Lennon sounds like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
You're Alec Guinness. I'll never forget that. Do you remember the time I fucked that up when we were in private?
You're Alec McGinnis.
And when I I didn't say that tonight, but I said at that time, I called him Alec McGinnis, and you're like, what the fuck are you combining Obi-Wans? What the fuck?
You were like you and McGinnis, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, Fern. I mean, look, Fern. I do a better British accent when I'm actually reading Harry Potter and I'm getting into it. Like,
True.
I'm not gonna pull out a Potter book and be like, prove that I could try and do an accent.
Mark, I thought Michael Jackson owned that, not Yoko.
Did until he had to sell it back.
Oh, did he have to sell it back? I think I missed.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, no. What happened was because of all the courtship that Jackson was going through, he had to sell off the catalog to pay out.
Okay.
To be able to pay the courts and shit. And Sony bought the catalog back, and then,
Yoko.
Sony bought it
according
for
to this, Yoko.
McCartney. Well, I mean, McCartney owns the Beatles music.
Terry, I remember that he had the falling out with Paul when he bought the. I knew that, but I wasn't aware that somehow Yoko got her hands on the thing.
Fern, I could only do I could do celebrities that I can imitate. That's how I could do a British accent.
Michael Caine's not terrible.
I can't. No, Michael Caine is awful. My Michael Caine is so bad. I can't even talk. I just have to try and get there and be like Michael Caine. And it's even then, it just sounds really bad.
The only line I'm even willing to attempt is the Tangerine line from Dark Knight.
Yeah, but it's like there's really emotional Michael Caine. Like she was only see, I can't do it.
Yeah,
she was only 13 years old. Yeah, see, it doesn't sound good. It sounds like Hannibal Lecter trying to do Michael Caine.
I'm ready to judge. I love it.
Look, you don't have to. I will judge the fuck out of my Michael Caine. My Michael Caine is bullshit. My Michael Caine is as bad as his performance in Jaws: The Revenge. That's how bad my Michael Caine impression is.
You know where I didn't like him? And I like the movies, but I didn't like him in Now You See Me. The Now You See Me.
I forgot he was. He's so forgettable in that.
That's what I'm saying. It was not. Yeah.
I remember Daniel Radcliffe in the sequel, and he was fucking crazy. I was watching that. I'm like, this is like a bit of Daniel that I did not expect. I mean, I think Daniel Radcliffe is a tremendous actor now.
I
think he's grown as an actor.
I heard that role described as if Harry Potter had joined Voldemort.
It's more of like if Harry Potter did meth.
That too. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's really creepy.
It is.
It's a really creepy performance.
And
he kind of resembles Elijah Wood. So you're watching, you're like, this is like if Elijah Wood went crazy and went British.
I also wasn't a huge. It's going to sound weird. I also wasn't a fan of half of Woody Harrelson's performance.
Woody Harrelson's hit and miss.
Because when he plays the character he plays in the first one, he's great. But when he plays his eccentric twin brother, he's fucking terrible.
I feel the same way about Jesse Eisenberg in every movie.
See,
like Jesse Eisenberg is like, he was great in The Social Network, but like I just didn't fucking. I've never seen another movie apart from maybe Zombieland where you watch Zombieland, you're like, okay, it was either Michael Cera or Jesse Eisenberg. Like, it really is not different.
No, I liked him. I liked him in Now You See Me. I thought he was fine in those movies personally, but
I liked
Jesse Eisenberg plays the same character in every movie. I've noticed, though. He's like
there's not a lot of range there. I'll give you
movie.
that, Todd. It's the range is not good there. Kateri, I'm guessing you're talking about Woody Harrelson. I've been watching Woody Harrelson since he made his debut on Cheers. So I mean, like, that's going.
Damn, you're old school. Holy shit.
Well, yeah. I used to watch it before Coach died. The original I forget the actor's name, but they called him Coach. The character's name was Coach, and he actually passed away, and so they didn't recast him, but they had to fill the space with another character, and they brought in Woody Harrelson as Woody. You know, the character's name was Woody as well. But little trivia. There was actually a picture of, I think it was Geronimo, the Indian chief, that they hung in the bar because it was something that was favorite to the actor. And Pinatiero, I think, is the guy's name or something. I'll have to look it up. But they hung this in the bar on the set on Cheers so that he would always be there, even though he wasn't, which I thought was pretty cool. I saw that when they did like the series finale special. They talked about it, like, because they did it very discreetly. They just kind of hung it in the background. Terry, I'm a little back and forth on that. There are times I like Shelley Long better, and there's times I like Kirstie Alley better. Kirstie Alley's batshit crazy otherwise, but I mean, as an actress, she was fine. So,
yeah.
But again,
look who's talking now.
I actually like the first Look Who's Talking. The rest of them are kind of shit, but I like one.
Yeah, the first one was really good. The other ones were just a cash grab.
Oh, well, to me, that's like the Meet the Parents, because Meet the Parents was okay, and then Meet the Fuckers, and then Meet the
Fuckers.
Whatever.
Fucker.
No, they're fuckers.
They're
They're fuckers. And then it was Meet the I forget the other one. There was a third one.
Kateri, you're right.
Yeah,
It just fucking happened. Kelly Preston.
That's right. Kelly Preston just passed. Yeah.
Yeah, she died of COVID, didn't she? Wasn't it?
No. She died of cancer.
Oh, okay.
She had breast cancer.
Okay.
Can I help you, motherfucker?
Dino just jumped in your arms. What?
Yeah, you like did this? I was like, what? He's just limp.
The feline feature when they jump in your lap like that.
Speaking of Kelly Preston, I actually said this on the air with you, CJ. I watched From Dusk Till Dawn, a couple months ago.
Yes.
Kelly Preston is in it, and she's a news anchor. And I'm like, holy fuck, that's Kelly Preston. And then she died the next day. But the person she was interviewing in that scene, who has just a small role in that movie, is John Saxon from A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yes, Todd, I'm ready for tomorrow. John Saxon died, 2 weeks later after Kelly Preston? So I'm like watching From Dusk Till Dawn being like, did I kill them? Fuck. Like, I just stopped watching movies. Like, no bullshit. This has happened on numerous times. I'll be thinking of an actor, or I'll watch a movie of something that I haven't seen forever, and then like Michael Jackson was a great example. I was never really a Michael Jackson fan, and then I just had this one day where I'm like, I want to watch some like YouTube performances of him. I want to watch Thriller. I want to watch, and listen to all his music. And then and then the next day he was dead. And I kept thinking, like, did I fucking do this? Like,
Rico, it's all your fault. All of it.
I mean,
I actually asked him to stop listening to the podcast for that reason, just in case it like killed me.
Yeah. He's told me, like, when I told Steph and I told Susan, they're both like, stop watching movies. You're killing off all the people.
And stop listening to the show.
I'm the Grim Reaper of PodAskew.
Dude,
man.
Death has never had this many cool T-shirts.
Well, you got an $8,000 budget for it. I mean, shit.
Like I'm like Death, like from Family Guy, where he's voiced by Norm Macdonald. Yeah, I'm gonna kill you.
Voiced by a couple people, Norm Macdonald and Adam Carolla.
Yeah, but that's virtually the same fucking voice.
You want to talk about death? You know, Rico. Last week we talked about. Last week on PodAskew we talked about Stephen King stuff and Shawshank and what's that guy's name?
Michael Clark Duncan.
No. The white guy that ends up being in the Green Mile. He's the father of the two little girls. I'm trying to think of Elliot something. I think I'll look it up. Hold on.
William Sadler.
Yes. He to tie all this together. There's a point to this. He plays Death in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey and reprises the role in Bill and Ted Face the Music. So for
okay, there. I thought you were about to tell me that he died. No, I'm like, the fuck?
No.
He is deaf.
Yeah.
He plays.
He causes the death.
And plays a pretty funny death, I might add too. So I think it's a
that's 3 out of 5.
What's that? Yeah, because okay. So Rico, have you seen Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
No.
Okay, so long and short of it is they end up in hell, and the Grim Reaper says that they can go back to Earth and come back to life if they beat him in a challenge of their choosing. So the first challenge, Todd, let me think about it. Don't ruin it. Let me see if I can pick this up. It's fuck. What game did? Oh, Battleship. They play Battleship. And Bill and Ted kick his ass. And they're like, all right, you can take us back now. And he goes, best of 3. So then they play Clue. And they kick the shit out of him. And he goes,
Twister.
No, then he goes, best of 5. And then they play Twister. And he's like, best of 7. Damn right. It's just he kills that role. And actually might be the first time I saw that actor, believe it or not, was in that role.
Yeah, for me too.
I mean, I've obviously seen him in a bunch of stuff since, but the first time I think I've seen that guy was when he plays Death in that movie.
And most of the other things that he's in is like Stephen King movies. Shawshank, Green Mile, The Mist.
Yeah, which by the way, and this will come up again a little bit later, but I was watching our buddy Fumes. I was watching one of his VODs, and somehow they got into movies from the 80s, but because it's VOD, I can't like comment. Like I can't type into the chat room like we have here, or I can't like say anything because it's not live. And they're saying that Richard Pryor was in Weekend at Bernie's, and my brain almost exploded.
He's not.
No, he's clearly not. And then
how high were they watching this movie?
I think no, they were doing it off memory. No one had seen it in a long time. I think they just got their movies crossed. But I got so angry with it, I turned it off because I don't know if they ever sorted it out.
I mean, if the movie was fucking Weekend at Krypton, then yeah, they'd be right. You know.
Also known as Man 3.
It has to be like it has to be the Mandela effect, man, because people remember a lot of shit that never fucking happened.
Yeah.
Gene Wilder was one of them. Because people were like, dude, Gene Wilder died? Or like, yeah, like years ago. But people are just like, it's sort of that Mandela effect where like, wait, what the fuck? He just died. No, he died like a couple years ago.
Kateri, I think it was 3. It was Superman 3. Yeah.
Yeah. There was Superman 1, 2, then 3, and then the quest for more money.
Yeah. Oh no, don't be sorry. We're just trying to help you out. That's all. No worries.
No, yeah, we're
we're not criticizing. We're trying to help you out.
I mean, he stole Superman 3, but like that's the problem.
Yeah.
If it was Prior Man, and Superman had a cameo, we would,
I do
have
not,
less of a bitch.
I like the guy who played the bad guy in that as an actor. I can't think of who it was. I'll have to look his name up. But I do like.
Whoever directed that movie?
No, he's not the director.
No, but he was the real villain of that
No,
film.
what I meant the actual.
Who's the Lex Luthor of this franchise? The director. Atomic Man or whatever the fuck his name is.
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now.
Radioactive Man and Fallout Boy.
Radioactive. I think it's Robert Vaughn. Yeah, it's Robert Vaughn.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah. He plays like the bad guy in everything back in the 80s, doesn't he? He was the main antagonist
season.
He
was
for
like
a while
their
too.
Wasn't he even? Is Robert Vaughn the guy who played the bad guy in Basketball?
Yes, he is.
Is that who Robert Vaughn is?
I was just about to say.
God.
Yeah.
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 What? Did I fart?
Yeah, so that you know what? I know that movie's terrible, but I fucking love that movie. I really do.
Oh yeah.
That movie's amazing. Are you kidding me? Have you guys seen their college movie
no,
they did?
I haven't seen it.
The what woman?
You need to.
Oh yeah, I've
Cannibal
seen
the Musical. Get it on DVD because they have a commentary track where they just get drunk while watching the movie, and at one point someone trips over the mic cord and unplugs it.
Totally comedy.
That sounds like a fucking commentary that CJ and I do. Like we just get drunk and then just like the audio gets fucked up.
Yeah, every time someone says Spadoinko, they all take a shot.
There's a whole song called Spadoinko.
Terry, what band are you talking about?
She's talking about Fall Out Boy.
Oh, when did we say Fall Out Boy? Did I miss something?
I said Radioactive Man and Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
Fall Out Boy is Radioactive Man's
I know, yeah. But I think I missed that part of the conversation while I was trying to find this actor that we were just talking about. So I missed that. Shit. Well, I actually, speaking of people who died, Robert Vaughn died in 2016. So there you go.
Comes all for full circle, people that we talk about end up dying.
Yeah. Robert Vaughn, the guy we were talking about from Basketball. Stuff. Yeah.
Oh, Robert Vaughn.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, apparently he did, Kateri. Back in 2016. So.
And I guess McCartney got a settlement from Sony in 2017 about the rights to the Beatles music.
Okay. Well, I mean, as the story goes, going back to that because Paul and Michael used to be pretty close, and they were hanging out one day, and they were talking about like just buying catalogs for to make money or whatever, and Michael apparently jokingly said something to the, we lost Fern. That's sad. But
I hope I didn't talk about her enough and that she fucking died. Like,
oh yeah, right. Jesus, Esther was. We were making
Esther and Alessio fucked off way
a while ago. Esther was uncomfortable. She reached out to me because I want to make sure she was all right. We were making her uncomfortable with all the death talk. So she's okay. I can't speak about Alessio. I don't know where he went, but I know that's why Esther left. Anyway, but she is okay, Terry. You're right. I checked. But apparently the story is that he made a joke. Oh, well, I'll buy your library someday, Paul. And it was like, ha, ha, ha. Well, laugh. And then like a week later, he actually bought the Beatles catalog, Yeah. So.
I don't really, I can't talk about Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Although I know a guy who is telling me and I have to get the name of it again, so I'm sorry I don't have it readily available, but there's a documentary apparently that shows it from a different angle, and not in a not in a it's okay what happened, but that there might be a twist to the public the way it got, kind of like we were talking about with Amy Winehouse, Rico. It's a little more serious, but like that there was this public twist put on it that even with that documentary that came out that shows it from that angle, there's the other side of the story that wasn't,
Yeah, there's Leaving Neverland, which was the documentary, and I've actually seen a good.
I saw.
I haven't seen all of it.
I've watched the whole.
Yeah, it's
I saw a third of it
Good.
before I turned it off.
Sorry,
but then there was
Welcome back.
was another documentary that was sort of oh well, this is not true. This is the real truth. But like, I don't look. I don't know. CJ is a no. We all don't fucking know.
Either.
What whoever knows is those boys and Michael Jackson. But Michael Jackson's dead, so we'll never fucking know. So my whole thing is, it's that documentary that I saw was pretty compelling.
No, it is.
But at the same time, I don't really want to know, because the shit that was like in Leaving Neverland was like, ooh, like if it is true, it's just gross. No. It's just gross. It's like I don't want to hear this in a documentary. Like, Michael liked it when I bent over and spread. Like, no, I don't fucking need to know this shit.
Yeah, but well,
yeah, we're talking about death, and your internet died, Fern. Like, I even made a joke. I'm like, of all the people I keep talking about, did I talk about you? Did you die? I hope not.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of music ones we might not have covered tonight. I mean, Chris Cornell was another one. It was sad. I mean, we kind of touched on it. We glazed over it. Whitney. Oh, Whitney. Yes, Whitney. Fern. Thank you. Whitney was really tragic to me because, I mean, this kind of goes back to the thing with Michael, where you don't know what to believe and what not to believe. But do I think anyone killed her specifically? No, I don't. But do I think that Bobby Brown had a huge hand in contributing to her death? Without question. And their daughter, you're right. Their daughter died like 2-3 years later, I think it was, or something like that, of very similar circumstances, I believe. But yeah, Whitney, that's just a shame, because she had that. You want to talk about talent. The only thing about Whitney that bothered me, and I don't know that I blame her for this, so I'm not speaking ill of her, but that infamous, in a good way, Star Spangled Banner that she sang at the Super Bowl, that's like, everyone knows it, it's been played 1 billion times, that everyone thought she performed. She didn't. So she recorded it and then lip synced it that night at the Super Bowl because they knew the acoustics wouldn't be right. So she sang it. It's not a Milli Vanilli kind of thing. But it was not
Ashley Simpson.
Or Ashley Simpson, right? But Ashley Simpson at least was herself. The difference between Vanilli and Ashley Simpson is Ashley Simpson was lip syncing. Sure, no one's arguing that, but
her voice.
But it was still her voice, right? Whereas Milli Vanilli was 3 other people singing, and these 2 dudes were just completely taking it over. So Whitney sang it, and I will not take that away from her. But my issue was that she didn't do it live, and it was bad. Yeah, no, I've seen Fergie's. That one that she did was not great. It's a shame.
They never sing live. When they do a live broadcast, it's always.
No, I get that, but
they all do that.
You're right, Todd, but you can understand, like, she was given a lot of props for a lot of years for not doing that and belting it out the way she did, and it turns out it wasn't the case, and that's what
Well, if it's always recorded, then whoever listened to Fergie's rendition needs to be fired, because they approved that shit. Then I
don't know if they approve it up front. I think they just let them go.
I don't know if she was lip syncing that, because. She looked like she was trying to like.
See, Fergie though, and I know this is going to sound stupid, but there's really a difference here. Fergie was indoors at a basketball game. whereas Whitney was outdoors at the Super Bowl, and that changes the dynamics of the acoustics and how it plays through and all that kind of stuff. And that's why generally at a football game they'll pre-record, whereas sometimes when you're indoors it'll be live. So that's the difference there. Kateri, I'm with you. I get that it was her voice. My issue, if I have one at all, and believe me, it's a small one, is that she was. Stop it, Rico. Get your mind out of the gutter.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying Kateri's coming after you. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You're nitpicking, dude.
But it was just supposed to be like this crowning moment for her, this achievement, and I feel like it's a little undone now by the fact that it was pre-recorded. But it was still an amazing recording. I'm not disputing that, and I have no question or doubt that it was Whitney singing. Again, I don't think this was a Milli Vanilli scenario in any capacity. It just didn't have the same weight anymore that it did prior for me. So
at this point, I just assume that most singers are lip syncing their old shit, and the reason why I say that is because there will be those like one hit wonder type of singers,
sure.
like the guy Taco, who's saying "Putting on the Ritz."
Yeah.
Like, this is so fucking out of left field, but bear with me, guys. If you look up on YouTube, Taco Putting on the Ritz live performance, and watch, and whether he's old with white hair or young with black hair, it is the exact same recording every single time. I don't think he's ever sung live, period.
Well, see,
and I've seen that with a bunch of other stars as well.
That's the other thing, though. Like, I think it depends. I think it depends on your genre too. And I really am going to dig my heels in on this. I think it depends on the genre. I think if you're in a band, they generally will perform live. However, if you're a singer or a pop star, more times than not, I would agree with you. Now, I also will. I before you say your point, Rico, and I'll let you get in on this, but I want to say that I think 99% of them are singing their own stuff. Like, I don't think it's someone else doing the vocals.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they're doing their own audience.
I'm kind of backing you up there, buddy, is what I'm saying. Like, I think
you don't have a ghost singer.
I think these are real. They're still in their real material. My only issue with going to see something like that in general, and I'm not picking on any particular artist, but as far as I can tell, she's here. The biggest problem I have with that is you pay for some of these artists upwards of $100 to $120 a ticket to go listen to the album you could listen to at home. And that I got a problem with. I got a real big problem with. Like, I will say this, and I'm not saying this just because they're my favorite, but I paid $110 to go see Metallica, and I know I got Metallica, live Metallica right there performing. And,
same with Marilyn Manson.
Right, no, all those, all those guys. All those.
See, I knew I saw Marilyn Manson live because every time I've seen, like, when you listen to Marilyn Manson sing on his tracks and the albums, whether you like it or not, he sounds at least on key.
Right.
And then when you watch, like, the live performances, it's just him throaty, screaming throughout the whole fucking show. So when I watched him live, I was like, okay, that's definitely him, because it doesn't sound as good as normal.
And that's fine. I'm not a huge Manson fan either, but I think Rico's just bringing up a point. I'll give you another one, and I know it's a shame Jolene's not here tonight. She messaged me, told me she wasn't going to make it, but because I know she's seen Rob Zombie a few times, and because we talked about it last week. But Rob Zombie nowadays, he's destroyed his voice from smoking cigars, and as such,
it happens.
No, it does, totally does. But as a result, I saw him live, and we sang more of his lyrics for him than he did as a crowd. Like, he would do that thing where he would say like 3 lines and then put, exactly. And he'd like Metallica, James will do that too, but it's only like a line here or a line there. He does the bulk of the song. Where with Rob, it was really the flip side. And that was really kind of, now I wasn't terribly upset about that one because I saw him at a festival where there was like 30 other bands, and I paid for the entire day's worth of music. So while I was excited to see Rob Zombie for the first time, I didn't pay just to see Rob Zombie. So like, okay, that was disappointing, but the rest of the day kicked ass. So whatever. But I don't know what I said, Jay, but thank you. Yeah. So, but we're getting down to the last 20 minutes here, and Dino's up. Rico,
I wanted to talking about the lip syncing stuff. I got to see Kiss last year on this last tour, and when I was 8 and 9 years old, they were my favorite band in the world because they were basically live action comic book characters. As a late 40s white male, it was disappointing at best because number one, the stadium was not full. Like they always say, we're always sold out. We never have any empty seats. Bullshit. Number two, there was a couple times where you could tell they were lip syncing because the lips didn't match up with the vocals and the music. Because, well, I mean, these guys are in their 70s now, and they're running around stage like they're in their 20s. And at one point, you could see like Gene Simmons catching his breath while trying to sing at the same time, and it didn't line up. And it was just like, this is. I'm glad I didn't buy those tickets because I would have been pissed the fuck off because it's like, okay, I spent a lot of money to see this mediocre band perform in a stadium setting, and it wasn't that good.
Todd, there's a quick question for you in the chat there. I don't want to speak for you, so take a quick look, please. I don't want to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be there. But yeah, I that's why I always enjoy bands live. Like I don't enjoy artists like you know who's I think an incredibly talented artist, but I don't like what she does live is Pink. I think Pink is incredible. Whether you like her style or not is a different thing, but I believe solely that she is really talented, but she does this shit live where she. No, I'm not, Fern. I think she's great. I think she really does have talent, but I don't like. And maybe your internet cut out for part of the conversation, but I don't like when artists like her or Katy Perry or any of these people. I'm not picking on her specifically. When you go to see them live, they're lip syncing to their music. They're singing. It's 100% them, but it's not them live singing, and that irks me. And I know for a fact Pink does that because of all the aerial shit she does. She does these like aerial acrobatics all during her show, and like
it's not physically possible.
Yeah, and it's entertaining as fuck and talented as fuck. I'm not questioning any of it, but
I wish Justin Bieber would lip sync to like someone who is better. You know,
agreed.
Just you know, Justin Bieber, like, you know, headphones on, about to dance. You think he's about to do Baby, and then it's like, dude, Dean Martin, just like way, you know. Memories are made of this.
I don't doubt that her shows are amazing. I'm not arguing any of that, but
that brings up the question: are you going to the shows for the show, like the theatrical performance? Are you going for the song?
And for me, and I can only speak for me. When I pay to see music live, I want to see. Yes, I don't mind if there's things going on, but I want the music. If there was nothing going on and they were just sitting there on stage playing and there was no other theatrics and I got a great quality song, I'd be thrilled. But that's a me thing, you know.
I agree with you.
Well, that's what I'm. But that's the thing, Fern. To me, I feel like I am listening to the CD when they lip sync like that. Like I don't feel like I'm getting anything new. Whereas, like if you go and you see a band, like you go see Metallica do Enter Sandman live, it's slightly different than the album version because they do it differently live, and it's just the way it is.
If you go to see Slipknot or Korn live, like
it's very different.
It's very different. Like I was never the biggest fan. My buddy was like educating me on their music, And I was like, all right, I'm into it. And then I saw the show live, and I'm like, ooh, this is astounding.
Right. See, that's the thing. Like the songs don't have to be perfect. If you're gonna put that kind of into the imagery and the old production, songs don't have to be perfect. And I think specifically pop artists focus on that too much. That's just me.
Well, I would also argue that there are musicians that don't do the show that are also just as impressive.
Yeah.
They don't need the pyrotechnic bullshit. Like, no one is ever going to go to Norah Jones' concert and be like, you know what's crazy is when the stage caught on fire from all that shit,
Right.
and like the Rockets were like, it was just her with a fucking guitar and like Starbucks in the background, and fuck, dude, we don't go to that for that type of show.
Yeah, I get it. I get your point, Fern. I'm with you. I mean, look, it's just a different perspective and a different preference to what you go and see. And I just wouldn't pay to go see Pink live, I don't think. But just using her as the example, sticking to the example. But I own a couple of her albums because I think she is an amazing artist. I think
she's a decent actress too.
Yeah.
Like I saw a movie she did where I was like, holy fuck. Yeah. She was like Begin Again. I was like, this is amazing. And she's way better than everybody.
And to that same other comment, Fern, I have an Norah Jones album. So I mean, like, I'm not against what? No, she's a good singer. She's a
No. If you I don't know if you're all aware of this, but her like most popular song, like, I don't know why I didn't come, blah 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 blah. If you re-listen to that song, it sounds insanely dirty.
Yeah.
If you just listen, don't know why I didn't come. Like, it's just about a woman just not being satisfied.
Well,
and she's drunk and like thinking about it.
She doesn't know how your shit works.
I don't know if you upset Fern or I'm not quite sure what that.
I still think it's an amazing song, but like it is a dirty ass song, and it's like her most popular fucking song, and it's all about motherfucker didn't do it properly, and I'm pissed off, and I'm drunk, and I'm crying because of it. That's all that is.
She agrees with you, Rico, so it's a good thing. That's So I mean, that's all I'm saying, and getting circling back to the topic of tonight, like. I know for a fact, and though I never got the chance to see him myself, Chris Cornell, you got live with Chris Cornell when he performed. There's no question in my mind. Chester Bennington was another one. You talk about people that are like that are different live. Chester live, I honestly am. After seeing Chester Bennington live, even if he hadn't died, I was more upset because of. Oh, that's another one, Kateri. I'll hit that in a minute, but. I feel like producers were holding Chester back on recordings because he got to kind of like unleash himself live, and he had such a range and such a talent that you didn't get on the albums from Linkin Park, and that's just a shame. And I love the first two Linkin Park albums; they're two of my favorite albums all time. Kateri, Scott Weiland, no doubt. That dude.
Who's Scott Weiland?
Stone Temple Pilots, and then later Velvet Revolver. I'll when we're off air, Rico, I'll play you some Stone Temple Pilots. You might have heard a couple of the songs and didn't realize who they were. That's certainly possible. Mm-hmm. But that dude had some talent too. Yeah, Kateri, STP and Velvet Underground. Actually, since
Revolver.
Velvet Revolver. You're right. Velvet Underground was Lou Reed.
Velvet Underground sounds like what Norah Jones talks about that wasn't satisfying.
That's true. I want to actually, it's an interesting all circle together, though, because she brought up Scott Weiland. So Scott Weiland got kicked out of Stone Temple Pilots because of his addiction issues, which is a whole different conversation. However, they were trying to find someone to take over, and Chester Bennington actually filled in as the frontman for Stone Temple Pilots for, I know a tour. I don't think they recorded anything. Kateri, if you know and you can back me up, tell me. But it gave Chester another way to flex his vocals too. So it was.
I think I broke Kateri.
You might have. That was good. That was good. You tied that together nicely, sir. Wow. I'm sure. I'm sure we're missing a lot of people. I don't have any question that.
I wish I'd got to see Phil Collins live. Is he big over there? I mean,
Oh
no.
no,
Not in a
Not
long time.
The one song.
no. There are people devoted to Phil. I know people very devoted to Phil Collins. So just because you're young,
I think the last time I saw anything in the news about Phil Collins is when he did this. He did the soundtrack to one of the Disney animated movies.
Tarzan.
I think it was Tarzan.
Tarzan.
um,
My favorite Phil Collins performance is him having a cameo in Hook. That's my favorite Phil Collins performance.
he's in Hook.
Mm-hmm.
Where's he in Hook?
He plays the detective when like the kids are first like kidnapped.
Right.
He's there. He's like, all right, well.
Oh, no shit. I don't think I knew that. I'll have to look that up.
Phil Collins, Glenn Close. We got to do a commentary in Hook one of these
We
things.
should.
We talk about it all
Yeah,
the time.
we could do that.
That'd be good.
Who else? There's like a bunch of like musicians that are in that fucking movie. But yeah, Phil Collins. Yeah.
The reason he had to, do you know why he had to retire, Fern and Kateri? If I know why, I just wondering if you did, because Enrico, I don't know if you know the history of Phil Collins, but he actually started as the drummer for Genesis with
I knew that.
with fuck, who is the lead singer? I know who it is. I'm just blanking on his name.
Peter Gabriel.
What's that? Yeah, thank you. Peter
Gabriel
Gabriel is the lead, and yes, it's exactly it. So he was the drummer, and then he came to the front after Peter Gabriel went off to his solo thing, and he developed arthritis from his drumming, and so he can't.
He from what I understand, he reserves the drumming for the.
That's like really the extent of what he can do.
That's it.
Yeah, which is a shame because he's actually an insanely talented drummer. People don't give him enough credit for that.
I've heard he's a complete dick, but he's a great drummer.
I don't know.
I've heard. There's a lot of no love for Phil Collins. I mean, there's a lot of love for Phil Collins, but
Speaking of Peter Gabriel, as we're getting close to the end of the night here, I've never been the biggest Peter Gabriel fan, but "In Your Eyes" was a song I've always loved, and has nothing to do with Say Anything. I just think it's a great song. And then he performed at his Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction 4 or 5 years ago at this point, and that performance was amazing. It was one of the best. I mean, I can't call it live because they tape it, but it's still live in that he was on stage performing, and it was one of the best performances I've ever seen. It was crazy good. I have a whole new level of respect for fucking Peter Gabriel after that. It was.
CJ, Jay would love a Hook commentary.
I saw. Yeah, we can make that happen. I think I'd have to rent the copy because I don't think I own it, actually, surprisingly. But
I think it's on one of the streams.
Is it? All right, we can try to make that happen.
That's a movie that you might as well just buy at this point.
Yeah, I think
right. Yes,
just waiting to get a copy on Blu-ray, but I can't do Blu-ray over here anyway in this setup, so I'd have to stream it anyway. But anyway, right. I think it's on the Disney Plus, isn't it?
I don't think so. No,
I
don't think so.
Yeah,
it is.
Hook is on Disney Plus.
I think it is. Yeah.
All right.
I'm actually going to check that now because it's going to bother me.
Well, I'm actually curious because like this is the time we can actually get some feedback. I mean, we do commentaries. Who like all yous who are in the room? Like, what would you want us to do? All yous, guys and girls. Who would you want? Who would you want us to do a commentary on? Like, what movie? Like, obviously, Hook. We are planning on doing one on Monty Python Holy Grail.
Yeah,
so that is
we still need to do that one. That might be our next one, actually. I'm not sure yet.
Dogma's hard
you guys
to do.
Could do it
on streaming platform. We can't.
Yeah, until I get that external Blu-ray driver for my computer, we can't do Dogma.
What, Todd? What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say you could. Well, with Dogma, you could get it on Amazon. I think it's not on Prime, but I think you can rent it.
I don't think so. I think it's been pulled from everywhere. Rigo, it's not on. We're wrong. It's not on Disney Plus, but it is on Prime Video. Hook is, so we could watch it there.
Cool.
So, yeah, I know, Jay, but you have to be a paying member to get into that.
Kateri, you're asking a lot for Temple of Doom because that is one that he like. That's like one of his least favorites.
That's my least favorite of the indie series. Without
now, if it was Indiana Jones: Last Crusade, we would definitely do that.
Can we? Yeah, can we compromise and do Last Crusade? Because I'll fucking do that. Oh, I'll do that.
Yes.
I'll have to close my eyes during like a good chunk of it, but that's okay during the beginning. But you'll have to fill me in, Rick. I just won't watch. So
why?
You can't watch the opening sequence.
The snake car.
Oh, okay.
The snake car.
Okay. You'll close your eyes for 30. You'll close your eyes for 30 seconds, and I'll just chew you in your ear and help you out.
The dog's name was Indiana. So
you named yourself after the dog.
Do you know?
Anybody else?
Wait. Do you know? I know we're getting to the end here, but do you know how mind blowing it was for me to realize that guy was Gimli in Lord of the Rings? Like to make that link in my brain was just.
I still think that if anybody, that guy should play Pavarotti.
Yeah,
he doesn't sound like Pavarotti, but he looks just like the mother.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're down to the last 5 minutes here, so I'm gonna, and we're kind of grasping at straws anyway. So I think it's gonna be a good way to wrap this bad boy up as Rico strokes his pussy. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Next week. Rico doesn't even know this yet, so here's some news. We are going to have a guest that I'm excited about.
We are?
Yeah, we are. Nothing as exciting as Eddie Pence, nothing like that. But our good friend Fumes is going to be jumping over to get Vokl and jumping on our stream. So our buddy Fumes, for those of you that have not heard us talk about him before, he's a video game streamer who streams on Facebook, and so he'll be jumping in to help us out on Get Vokl next week. No video game, but we'll be talking stuff. Probably horror video games, but not necessarily. Maybe just games in general. So, Mark, please feel free to jump back for that one because I don't know that you and you've met Fumes and you've been in Fumes' chat. So, but come hang out for that one. In the meantime, I want to thank Fern, Jay, Mallet, Mark, Todd, Kateri, Alessio, and Esther, and I think that's everybody, and Jess, who was here briefly tonight, for hanging out with us. We always appreciate it. We appreciate your time, especially I know some of you guys, it's super fucking late where you are, so thank you for hanging out. We are headed over to Todd the 206 Geek stream, and we're going to be there for a while, so please do come back and hang out with us there if you can. And if you can't, we understand that too. But we do very much appreciate you guys being here with us. So on that note, I'm going to flip on our thing here, and we will.
And I will flip off.
And we'll see you all next week.
PodAskew. PodAskew.